What are you thinking for your show, Jake?
I'm literally going to introduce. I have about 10 topics here, and we're just going to kind of try to jump in, go one at a time. Don't talk too long. Each of you go maybe 20 seconds. Easy answers. You can interrupt Donny all you want, jokingly, of course. Let him say his points, because he's the only one here who isn't a giant from the rest of us. So... You guys don't know me too well, then. And we are back. It is football season. This is the End Up Podcast, and oh my god, did I make the biggest mistake of my life right here. We are having a Royal Rumble. There are way too many people in this room on this round table. We got Matthew Canada, we got Sutton, we got Houts, we got Topher, and a Titans fan? What are you doing here?
You know.
That is Donny, everyone. The artist formerly known as Donny.
Nice response, Donny.
You're a real dick.
All right, God, guys. We hate you.
This is off to a rocky start.
So what we're going to try to do here is preview week 1. Mostly Dolphins-Titans. But the only thing more important
Titans
than Dolphins-Titans is what type of food are you making? And I want to start with Matthew, since you only have 2 kids.
Chicken wings.
Sound confident with your answer, Matthew. Come on.
Grilled or fried?
I am frying chicken wings.
I'll be
making one. Do your job, Matt.
Buffalo blue cheese chicken wings with some French fries and some IPAs on tap. Actually, not on tap, but in the fridge, the same thing.
Does Matt know how to spell IPA?
IPA.
Ah, shit. What about you, Sutton? You got balance 8 kids. What do you eat?
I was going to say, that was the nerdiest damn response I've ever heard, and I hope you eliminate that from the tape after going through this. But I'm going straight for nachos, bro. I'm going full tilt week 1. I'm going high alcohol beer, and I'm going nachos, and I'm going for it.
You can tell Sutton has 8 kids because he made the one dish where you just throw everything in a pile and everyone just kind of grabs handfuls at a time. And it's just like, yeah, you can just go at it. Go at it. But
yeah, let's do it.
I think we covered it all. So I want to kind of go around. This is going to be a speed round, real quick, one at a time. Oh. Fantasy team shaming. How many teams do each of you have, starting with Topher?
1.
Donny.
3.
Houts.
11.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. You
actually 12. I did a free Phinsider one. I did a free Phinsider one because they needed someone, so I'm at 12. I just did that today.
Sutton.
1.
And then Matthew.
3.
Okay, I'm at 4, which would have been the worst, but we have a full-blown addict here in Houts, so that's pretty terrible. And then we'll follow up with this. We're going to do the same exact order, so it's a memory thing. Fantasy players for week 1 to watch, both Dolphins and Titans. I'm going to start, and I'm going to say both the running backs for the Titans, just because the Dolphins linebackers still scare me. Topher, what are you thinking?
Actually, Corey Davis. That's the guy on Tennessee. And then, on the Dolphins side, kind of want to see how, Minka Fitzpatrick is going to do.
For fantasy?
Right, I'm just going Titans whole defense.
IDP, man. IDP.
Oh, get out of here.
Same
compost. Only House does that because he has 12 teams. I'm going Titans defense because, Tannehill's your quarterback.
Son of a bitch.
I'm going to go ahead and say on the Dolphins end, let's go Amendola with Devontae Parker out. Tannehill needs someone that he can throw 5-yard passes to. Fucker.
I'm going Delaney Walker on the Titans side. I think he's been heavily targeted in the few games that they've played over the last couple of years. So I think Delaney Walker on the Titans side. And Dolphins side, I'm going to stick with tight end too. I think Gesicki might get 1, maybe even 2 touchdowns.
Week 1, 2 touchdowns? Wow.
All right, I'm Mariota. Dolphins struggle with mobile quarterbacks.
It's Mariota.
Fuck Mariota.
Fuck right, you just said it right. We're good now.
Well, I say Super Mario, so I say it wrong anyway.
You said Super, didn't you?
Marcus Mariota, and I'm going to go with let's go with Jakeem Grant.
I like the Jakeem Grant. That's interesting. Matthew, if you're still here.
What was the question?
He's asleep. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my gosh. Aren't you the adult out of all of us here? Fantasy players, Dolphins, Titans. Who you got this week?
The Dolphins' defense is Marcus Mariota is trash.
Mariota.
Just let him go. It's
What's his
Mariota.
name? What's his name, Donald?
Marcus.
It doesn't matter what his name is.
Mariota. You're gonna know it, and you're gonna remember it, and it's gonna make you cry.
Or he's going to lose another kneecap.
Can I follow that up with, okay, is Marcus Mariota?
I've had enough. I've had enough of this.
Is he
He's
going to
pooping.
score
Donnie.
more points
Pooping.
How
than
do I
Jay
accept this
Cutler versus
chat
Matt Castle? You think?
I can't
On his
accept
own?
this. It's
No,
just
both of
letting
them
you know.
combined.
Oh, dude. If not, I hope that I turn the TV off, because if the game is worse than that game last season, my eyes will be bleeding.
Okay, so I guess the way I want to ask this, last year's game was so bad. What can we take away from last year's game that will actually have anything to do with 2018?
Absolutely nothing, Donald.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, we don't have the same running back. We had our backup quarterback. Our defense is totally different. Corey Davis probably didn't play. I don't know. I think it's totally different teams going up against each other, honestly.
I could get behind that.
If anything, look at the matchup from the year before when we crushed you guys. That's probably a better one to look at.
Or what about the year before that when we beat you 38?
Yeah,
Right,
that one doesn't
correct.
count. That one was in
Dan Campbell
we like
whooped
to
that
win.
ass.
We like to win in Miami. We like to crush the dreams, you know?
Wait.
We prefer that.
Could you, Donnie, do you care to discuss why the Dolphins have won 5 out of the last 7 matchups against the Titans?
Yeah, because, you know, it's a fluke.
It's a fluke.
I mean,
It's a 5 out of 7. All right.
Well, okay,
Pouts,
okay, fine.
Slam him
okay.
against the side.
Jake
This is your
Holmes
Royal
or-
Rumble time.
How many times have you guys beaten Mariota in his rookie season and you guys injured him? Like,
I believe
thanks,
his last
guys.
name was pronounced Maradio.
To be fair,
He's no Ryan Tannehill.
he has one of Ryan Tannehill's favorite weapons in Rashard Matthews, but we're just going to kind of sit with that. Okay,
You guys are salty about that.
I am. I love Matthews. I was a huge Matthews guy. Donnie, what's your expectation for the Titans? What
For
do you
the
expect
season?
them to be, a playoff team, in the hunt, or tanking?
Playoff team,
In the hunt.
no doubt.
Are you
4-12.
winning the division?
Yeah, dude, because Jacksonville, you know, they're Jacksonville. Blake Bortles, that defense. I mean, we beat them twice last year, pretty handily both times. The Colts, I mean, they're the Colts. Andrew Luck is great, but that's about all they got. And Houston, I mean, Deshaun Watson is amazing, and their defense is really good. They have great weapons around, so it's just Houston's a big threat, but I don't just see them taking over. I don't know. I think we have a really good chance. I'm biased, obviously, but I like pretty much every position on our team. I mean,
You guys got no chance at all.
4-12.
all right.
Yeah,
4-12.
like literally, you guys were beat up. You guys were beat up in preseason, banged up.
Oh my! The Lions.
We just took your third string quarterback to give us all your secrets.
Our quarterback.
You got Mike Vrabel, who don't know what he's doing right now because he's a first-time head coach. So he's going to be struggling in the heat in Miami, focusing to concentrate
Are you
on the field.
really talking about the Heat?
Can I
It's
ask
not
Donnie a
even
question?
basketball.
Why is,
Kidding me.
can I ask Donnie a question? Why is Mike Vrabel's one eye smaller than the other? He kind of looks like the Toxic Avenger. Does he have pink eye?
I don't appreciate that. I think he's very handsome. I think we might have one of the best looking
He
coaching
is very
staffs
handsome, yes.
in the league besides Dean Pease. Because if you've never seen Dean Pease, our defensive coordinator, he's very unattractive. But we have Matt LaFleur
Correct.
as our OC.
But why
which
his-
completely cancels it.
Can you explain to us why Matt LaFleur isn't the offensive coordinator in Tennessee?
Why he is?
Yep. Why is he?
Because he's a beast. Look what he did with Jared Goff. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, that's McVay." Look what he. It's not. It's LaFleur. Look what he did with the Falcons. He's great. He's going to come in. He's going to change Mariota's footwork. That's part of his goals for this year. He's going to help him be cleaner, and you guys are going to see that. Like, you guys are going to see that. You're going to be wishing that you didn't ask for that.
Ryan Tannehill never changed his footwork
But-
right before the season.
But can you tell us that Matt LaFleur was the second choice for Tennessee?
As far as offensive coordinator, no, I don't think so. I think he was the first choice because he actually interviewed for head coach, didn't get it, and then still came and was our OC. So I think he was probably the first choice for OC. They really got the best of both worlds. They got a guy that they interviewed for head coach, and they basically have 2 guys on their staff that they interviewed to be the head coach. So I think that was a pretty big win in the offseason, if you ask me, as far as coaching hiring goes.
If you have 2 head coaches, do you actually have 1, though?
Oh, damn, Jake. You are coming with the fire right now.
Well, he's not a head coach, so. But yes, you could, I guess. I don't know.
Donny.
I mean, you have Todd Haley and what's his name? Hugh Jackson.
Hugh
in
Jackson's
Cleveland.
not
So
a
do
head
they only
coach.
have one head coach? Well, then there you go. Then you have half a head coach because Todd Haley's not either. He's mostly.
Topher, you've
So
actually been weirdly quiet. What's your expectations for the Titans this year?
Topher is playing Madden right now. That's why.
No, I think my expectation for the Titans is kind of similar to how they were last year. If they make it to the playoffs, they'll get lucky, But otherwise, yeah, I think they're going to be 8-8, 9-7.
I kind of see them in the same situation as the Dolphins. I'm not gonna lie, where they both kind of have the upside. Tannehill and Mariota, is that how you? I think
Mariota, and I'm gonna also tell you that I just drafted him in my fantasy draft. So
round
you're
of
welcome.
applause. Okay.
Worse Mariota.
Wait, Tannehill or Mariota?
Why would anyone ever draft Tannehill?
It's such a homer pick.
I pick Tannehill every year. I love that guy.
Yeah, that's why you lose every year.
So Sutton, sit right there. What are your expectations for the Dolphins this year?
I'm right there with Toph. I'm at that kind of purgatory level, basically, between 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, somewhere in there. I think they'll have a little bit more trouble in the division than Donny's letting on right now. I think that's going to be a division. I think you'll see the Colts play a little bit better this year, and I think you're going to see them kind of beat up on each other this year. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see an 8-8, 9-7 winner from that division this year.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad either. It's just there is a lot of competition there. All right, moving on. Houts, give me an X factor on the Dolphins offense this week.
On the Dolphins offense, let's go Ryan Tannehill. We got our quarterback back. He's going to pick apart that defense. Maybe Devontae Parker's out. No one really cares. He didn't really get fouled this week, so he's out for 2. Sitting there watching SpongeBob. But I think Ryan Tannehill's the X factor. We haven't seen him play in, 19 months, whatever it may be. So let's bring out that quarterback. I think he's better than Marcus Mariota. Yes, I'm a homer. Yes, I like his toe thumbs. But yeah, Ryan Tannehill.
Jake, let me ask you this question. Is there any truth to Devontae Parker not playing on Sunday so we can play Spider-Man when it comes out on Friday?
God, I saw that tweet and I started laughing.
move.
It's super hard.
I saw it like it was super believable, right? That
It's
Ryan
not a
Tannehill-
bad idea.
That game
That's
was
actually
That game
yeah.
was awesome.
Devontae Parker's living in the year 2036. We're all 2018 still.
It's the truth. He's got his beat. He's got his life made. But
Do you think Devontae Parker has virtual reality headset in his house?
Oh,
That he just
absolutely.
plays and accidentally got hurt playing with his virtual reality headset.
did you? Oh my God! Did you see there was a
Sony
quote about Sammy Coates? How he had like 180 yards after breaking like 2 fingers, and then he played like another 4 games and then broke another finger and still like went off for the Steelers. I couldn't believe that. But Matthew, I want to ask you this: how much
Hello,
of an
Jacob.
impact does Minkah Fitzpatrick make in his first NFL game? How many tackles are we talking? Are we talking any turnovers? What are we doing here?
Honestly, I don't think there's going to be a lot of impact that you're going to see from him because he's playing the nickel cornerback. And we discussed this on Phinsider Radio that I think that's a waste of a position for him. And when we had Armando Salguero on the show as well this weekend, you can download Phinsider Radio at phinsider.com or on iTunes Phinsider Radio. He explained why it's such a terrible move to put Bobby McCain on the boundary there. One of the highest paid nickel cornerbacks in the league. At least he was paid to be one of the highest paid nickel cornerbacks. And you're putting him on the boundary so you can put, because your other cornerbacks have failed to step up. So Cortrea Tankersley now like CB4, CB5, CB3 really. And then you're putting Bobby McCain out there. And then you're moving Minkah Fitzpatrick down from center field down to the slot, which I think is just a complete waste for him. He's best suited in center field where he can make the tackles at the line of scrimmage with the running back coming through the line and stopping him in his tracks. If T.J. McDonald steps it up and plays like he did against the Carolina Panthers, then I think, they'll be okay. But in terms of, Minkah Fitzpatrick making a huge impact on Sunday versus Titans, I don't think there's going to be much of an impact. I think you're not going to hear his name a lot because he's going to do his job. If the Dolphins play straight up man the whole game, right, Xavier Howard's going to shut down whoever's there, whatever bum on the Titans is there. Bobby McCain will struggle with whatever bums on the other side there. Minkah Fitzpatrick will shut down the other bum there in the nickel.
Don't you talk about Rashard Matthews like that. But just sit there for a second.
Really, hold on, let me finish, Jacob. You got Bobby McCain, you throw some help up over the top with Rashad Jones and T.J. McDonald, you're all set. Titans got nothing else. Stack up the box, stop the run, and then you're good.
Okay.
Can I just make a quick point?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tankersley, best name on your team.
I can agree with
Thanks,
that. Tankersley,
Number 1 name on the team.
if I read a
Thanks,
jersey that says
Tankersley.
Tankersley, I don't want to be anywhere near it. But Matt, I want to sit there just for a second. Topher and I talked about this a lot. Would it be that much of a issue just to have some red I don't want to say random guy, but like a Torrey McTyer play that second cornerback spot where we've seen these guys over the years. It seems like they're all the same person, whether it's Cortland Finnegan, Bryce McCain, all these guys who were just kind of there as the number 2 guy, where you could have Minka be like a center fielder.
I'm not sure why the Dolphins are not doing that, to be honest. Jacob, you're actually a genius for mentioning that. We did not mention that on Phinsider Radio, but
you can download that.
I honestly, all kidding aside, I honestly think Minka Fitzpatrick is best suited in center field. We saw him in the first preseason game, just lay out guys coming over the middle, stopping the running backs when they broke through the lines. I think, and I'm adamant about Minka Fitzpatrick. What was that? I'm adamant about Minka Fitzpatrick being a waste in the nickel slot. I think the Dolphins are doing a disservice to him by putting him in that nickel slot, and I think it's just a waste of talent. I hope they change it, but it doesn't look like they are. It looks like they're locked in on Bobby McCain playing the boundary. It's sad. It's really sad, actually.
Sad. Donnie, is Jack Conklin playing?
No.
Why not?
It wouldn't matter anyways because Cam Wake is just going to feast no matter who's playing.
Yeah.
Mario.
Who's your backup tackle, Donnie?
Dennis Kelly, and I'm going to give you this little tidbit, right? All Titans fans know Dennis Kelly, number 71, when our whole offensive line is healthy, he comes in and he's the 6th guy, and people will buy, Titans fans will buy a number 71 jersey that just says eligible on the back, because almost every single time you will hear the ref say, anytime Dennis Kelly's in, number 71, eligible. Always. So, Titans fans, he's a solid backup tackle. I'm not really that concerned. I understand he's going against Cam Wake, who somehow is still playing football.
Somehow playing football pretty well. And ask Topher this. Topher, if you were Cameron Wake with what he looks like, would you be really afraid of someone named Dennis?
Oh, not at all. And then add Kelly. Dennis Kelly. Sounds like some retired Navy SEAL who can't fly
First
anymore.
names.
Yeah.
Okay. That was perfect. That was what I was looking for. And then I'm going to jump to Sutton and ask him this. And then whatever Sutton misses here, we're going to have House pick up. We're going to ask, why can't Butler contain Jakeem Grant? And the follow-up of that is, can anyone contain Jakeem Grant?
Oh, my gosh. I can't remember what week it was last year when Grant went up and just how it's described
Monday night.
as
Monday
Moss.
night. That's all.
Yeah, Moss with the
You guys
throwback
are funny.
jerseys.
Malcolm Butler, baby.
The reason that Jakeem Grant can't be contained is because this MFer he's like a flea, dude. He's so springy. So he's got deceptive vertical leap. Butler has shown some inability to deal with the deep speed, and that Jakeem Grant has that in spades. So I think they are going to have some over-the-top help.
That's Adoree Jackson.
How do you feel about his little scouting report he did right there?
All right, it was great. You told Sutton, a guy who has 8 kids, me to clean up what he misses on, and he kind of nailed it. But Jakeem Grant is a real springy player. I think all of us on this podcast weigh more than him, most likely. I think he's 161 pounds. But I don't think anyone on that Titans secondary, Adoree Jackson, what does that mean to us, Donnie? Jakeem Grant's going to lost the shit out of all of them.
Oh, God.
Albert Wilson, he's going to come in there. You're not even going to know Albert Wilson's not us. This is my chance to swear, so I'm going to swear, all right? Danny Amendola,
I don't like
the white guy from New England. I mean, and Donnie, you guys are screwed.
I hear a bunch of bargain bin receivers. That's what I hear.
And all you guys are Shard Matthews.
And Corey Davis.
Oh, my God.
No one cares about Corey Davis.
Okay,
He's that second-year player everyone wants to draft in fantasy, and he's not going to do it.
Dude, they have Tajay Sharp.
Oh, whoa.
Dude,
You
back
better
off.
watch it. Don't speak on his name like that.
Tajay Sharp.
What I think's interesting is how we kind of wanted to sweep last year's game under the rug, and it was Cutler versus Massel, yes, Matt Castle. But there is one stat I found from that game, and I'd like us to kind of sit here because I think this is going to be the key player of the game. The Dolphins had 6 seasons in the matchup last year where the Titans only had 1 in that game. So you incorporate now another Big Sack Bob, a little Robert Quinn signing to that. I think, there's going to be there's a large task in front of that Titans offensive line, and I don't think they're ready for it. I do not think they're going to be able to handle. So it might come down to Derrick Henry, but I think Big Sack Bob set for a big old game.
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
Big step.
Topher, who you got when it being the game's MVP?
The game's MVP? Actually, I think it'll be Big Sack Bob. To be honest with you.
You're copying me?
Yeah, I am going with you on that. Either Big Sack Bob or maybe Xavier Howard.
You think it's a defensive guy?
Yeah, definitely.
You're saying it's going to be a loss for the Titans.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Donald. Welcome to the dark side, bro.
That was Topher.
That was Topher.
Oh, okay.
Jesus. Put him in the home.
I think it's time to put that in the
We're
home.
ready to branch off.
I have to go in a few minutes. I got to get the kids to bed.
All right, Matt, since you got to go, we'll finish with this one. Give me a final score prediction and tell me why in 140 characters.
35-14 Dolphins, only because the Dolphins offense has been priming to attack and they are ready to dink and dunk and go all over the field. I do think they're going to get ahead early in front of the home crowd. The Titans are going to wilt away in the heat. Frank Gore is going to run all over their ass in the second half, and it's just going to be a bad day for the Titans. I think Donald's going to be really upset that he was talking so much junk the past 10 months, 8 months, 9 months, 7 months, 6 months, whatever it was. I think Donald's going to have to eat a lot of crow after today, after Sunday, and I think we should have him on In the Hunt next week. I think he should bring us all back on In the Hunt next week and just talk to all of us, and we could just sit here and talk to Donald about why he thought that the Titans were actually going to win because they don't have a chance on Sunday.
Sheesh. You know what, Matt?
My God.
That was hot enough
That
for
was
you to
so
leave
cute.
on. So that was quality.
That was so cute, Matt.
I'm gonna drop the mic.
Matthew, have a good night.
Yeah.
So,
Pass out on the couch.
He's had 3 beers. He's being a real dick.
Goodbye.
for the lack of better words here, we're just gonna say Matt was the first one thrown out of the ring.
All right, fine.
And he
Toss
just
out
picked
the
him
ring.
up over his head and threw
Brought
him
him
out.
back.
And with that, Donnie, I want to ask you this. What type of identities does Vrabel bring to this team that the team has been lacking in the last 3-4 years?
Oh, I think like a toughness, honestly. I mean, and accountability. I mean, Malarkey. I don't even know what to say about him. I mean, he was.
His last name's Malarkey.
His fucking
That's
name
all
was
you need to know.
Malarkey.
That's a great way to start. I mean, honestly, like, I think everyone knows that he's off. That he was awful for us. I mean, he was in the Stone Age. I think that Vrabel and honestly LaFleur, the two of them coming in together, are going to give us the type of offense that we need. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the clock. They're going to give us the type of offense that we need. And Vrabel, I mean, he's a defensive guy. I think that our defense is really good. Although our first two picks might not even play this weekend, so that might be a big downside. But I think overall, he's just going to bring the guys together. We have this new phrase, MMCNB, that you guys will learn a lot about this weekend. My man catches no balls.
Too
that our
much
corners
information.
and DBs are saying. So you guys are going to have to deal with
Hope
that.
that's not real.
Donnie, is that actually real?
Why did Josh McDaniels
Yeah.
turn it down?
Oh,
Ask him why Josh McDaniels turned it down.
And he also brought us the Patriots East identity, or I guess South. Patriots South, because the Patriots are East.
we gotta
But,
get you a compass, Donnie. There was there was one more question I want to ask you. LaFleur, do you not just think about the movie Dodgeball all the time now?
Oh, of course. Scramble.
It's Pete LaFleur, isn't that? I think that's the guy
Yeah.
from Dodgeball.
Yeah, of course. Peter LaFleur. Cram it in your cram hole, LaFleur. How could I not?
We might just title this episode "Cram It in Your Cram Hole."
This LaFleur, though, is going to make you guys look like the average Joes, not us.
Oh, with the
There's a little
bird.
dodgeball joke for you.
He's been thinking that all week for the last
I'm a
fucking
comedian.
months.
I just came up with that right now, okay?
Did you take a shit yet?
If you can dodge a wrench, you still can't dodge a Cam Wake sack. And with that, House, tell me why the Dolphins are going to win and who the MVP is, and give me a final score prediction.
All right, my final score 27-23. I think it's going to be closer than that asshole Kanata. MVP Kenyon Drake. I think people are sleeping on him. They see Frank Gore coming in here at, 87 years old. He's going to snipe some in goal line carries. But Kenyon Drake, we saw him all throughout preseason. He was that running back that we've desired for several years. That's the reason J.J. is in Philly. Kenyon Drake's going to be the key to this game. You get that run game going. Tannehill, play action pass. it's game over. Titans are going down 27-23 Dolphins.
Okay, and Sutton, how do you feel about that?
I'm going a lower scoring round just because I think this is one of those early season games that could be a little bit sloppy. You could see some turnovers, some penalties. I'm going like 2016 Dolphins. And I think the key is going to be the D-line. Weird stat that I found in my research, the winner in this series the last 3 times has had 6 sacks. So
Exactly.
We had sacks in 17 and 15, and then the Titans got us 6 times in 2016. So I think if you're looking at it from that vacuum, then you're looking at the Dolphins having a better chance of having 6 sacks on Sunday. So I think they're going to keep the Titans offense at bay, and we're going to do enough to score enough points.
I agree, and me, you, and Topher are on the same boat where I think it's going to be the pass rush. I think these two teams have a lot in common. They're kind of in the same area, and it's going to come down to the things like the heat, like the home field advantage, and that could be the difference in, a couple sacks that change the game. Where I think, 24-21, 27-24, it's going to be within a field goal, I think. You know what? Give me a Dolphins coming in and blowing them out. Donnie, I'm sorry, but hopefully you have one of our guys on your fantasy team because hopefully your normal team is going to be complete trash. Like total and utter trash.
I love that you give all of you biased Dolphins fans a score prediction and our MVP and all that. I just get, what's our new identity?
I didn't want to overload your brain. You're a simpleton.
I don't even know.
Remember
I don't even know our identity. I could tell you that we're going to win. That's for sure.
What's the score going to be?
See?
31
to 10.
Why?
You're
Who's your MVP?
Because of Dion Lewis.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Who's going to cover Dion Lewis? Kiko? Kiko can't even make a tackle or pick the right sideline.
You're right. It's not going to be Kiko. If anything, Dion Lewis is probably going to have 100 yards. Play him in DraftKings.
Don't you talk about McMillan.
Make a tackle. Hasn't even played in a regular season game. Get out of here with that.
Is it every Titans
Xavier
game
Howard.
a preseason game?
Actually, no. We did win a playoff game. When was yours last playoff win?
I don't think I was alive.
I don't remember either.
Do you got an MVP for me, and you're going with Dion Lewis?
Dion Lewis, yeah, 100% Dion Lewis. I don't know who's gonna. Maybe Minka. Honestly, if anyone could cover him, I think Minka might be able to. So that'll be interesting for me to see.
Be professional for. I actually think the Dolphins will win like 20-17. Their offense is. I haven't seen a Dolphins team come out week 1 guns blazing. I just haven't, and so totally would shock me if they lose. But if they win, it'll be 20-17 in a frustrating fashion.
Yeah, and. Actually, Sutton, we haven't asked you yet, and I just saw this. I want to ask you: have you thought it's been weird the last couple of days, especially today? I think it was an Armando article where they're talking about how this is the most confident Dolphins team like they've had in so time. They have so many trick plays because I haven't.
And they're ready to show it all. They're ready to show it all, Jake.
It just seems weird and forced. Do you remember a time this has really happened in the past?
No, I can't, and it's almost like the opposite of what we usually hear in the off season, where our defensive coordinator comes in. We really want to play an attacking style of defense. Like, yeah, no shit, dude.
Right.
But we're not used to having some aces up our sleeves, so to speak. So I don't know. I guess I'll buy into it. Why not? We'll see on Sunday if we look like we know what we're doing out there. If we look like a clusterfuck, and then what matters if we have a couple plays in the secret vault that may or may not work? You know what I mean? So
For sure.
As long as the base stuff is working, then all the super exclusive packages with double jet sweep action motion out to the, all that kind of stuff.
The frou-frou stuff.
It sounds like a porno. It sounds like a porno.
Well, I guess one team's going to be fucked either way, so I guess it is a porno.
One quick thing, I want to make fun of Houts real quick since he took a quick shot at me. This man posted on Twitter asking what kind of difference Luke Falk was going to make. Like, are you kidding me?
That was a joke. He's going straight to the practice squad. He's Edward Snowden. You can tell us about that shitty offense.
Make any difference? He's not
You
going
can
to do
tell us about that
anything.
shitty offense.
He played
Derrick Henry.
45 minutes.
So you want to throw out your at here for us?
Sure. At Donny DiCaprio. DonnyDicaprio.
Just like Leo.
FUCKOFF.
Yeah.
All right,
Yourself.
guys, I'm out. I'm had enough of you guys. Someone throw me over.
We'll
Be a
do a
bitch.
group
You
throw
stay till the end.
Wait. Before Donnie goes, have we?
I'm not going. I'm just kidding. I'm here to stay because I can't wait till next week to come back and hear how sad you guys are.
Have we established what the betting guidelines are here for this game? What's on the line?
Oh,
here?
yeah, Jake. Aren't you and Matt changing your Twitter pictures to Mariota if you lose?
Yep, you are correct. If the Dolphins
What do I
lose,
have to do?
I think you just got. What did you have to make yours?
No one said anything. That was the thing. I'm fine with whatever, but I also have 200 followers, so I don't care.
Well, our goal tonight is to get you to like 203 followers. That way you'll get all our listeners.
Perfect. So they can all blow me up on something.
We also have Sutton Laces Out on Twitter, and we also have our employee house. And Topher, where can you find me? Since I had to figure out everyone else, I don't know where I am.
You could find Jake at jmendel94, and you could find me at Cochran108.
And you can find us both at MIA in the Hunt. Oh, and by the way, I'm glad have you guys here. Have you heard of? We're doing a little thing called In the Hunt Bingo coming up. Would you like to know what that is?
Yes.
Please tell us.
So, if you don't own Madden, or maybe you do, maybe you want to get it for another system, Houts, or maybe you own it for both systems and you just want a free game, this might be for you. What we're going to be doing is, if you tweet at our account, MIA in the Hunt, on Twitter with a screenshot of you subscribe to this podcast on what apps can you find this, Topher?
Spotify, Podbean, and iTunes.
If you screenshot that and send it to anyone if you screenshot any one of those accounts, send it to MIA in the Hunt. We're going to send you a bingo board for the 2018 season for the Miami Dolphins. And what you do is simple. You play bingo. First one fill it out gets a game of their choice. We hope you get Madden because I guess we're football fans. But if you already have it, if you're too cool, we will give a game. We will have an entire thread out. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a mess, but I wouldn't rather have it be a mess with anyone else than you guys.
It's a beautiful disaster.
It was a hot mess.
Thanks for having us.
So what? We all leave the Royal Rumble, just us four. We just laugh at Matt for leaving it. Is that kind of just how this ends?
Fuck that.
If someone wants to throw me over the top rope, then...
Alright, Topher lifts. He'll do that.
Hip toss him.
Yeah, Topher can lift me. I've seen him in person. He can lift me.
I have old man strength.
Gorilla press his ass out of the ring.
And Topher...
Gorilla press!
Ow! That's hitting the floor. Ow!
Topher, there's only one way to end this podcast, and there's only one thing I can say as we get ready for the 2018 football season. Fins up.
Fins up.
Fins up.
Fins up your ass, Donnie.
Fins up.
You don't listen to Phinsider Radio?
I don't listen to mediocrity.